Okay, so there's just this weird clip that I want to show. I asked my sister at 7 o'clock this morning, if she can like show a video clip of the baby. Just the baby's in her room in a hospital, and I think she's being tested and stuff. But um, yeah, I asked them to send a clip, and she sent me this clip, and it has a really weird sound system because the sound system seems very clear. But she said that she was watching Gogglebox Box on TV on her phone. Now, I didn't even know you could make video recordings whilst having a TV on your phone at the same time. I thought it usually stops it, but anyway, somehow it was. But she's got this really weird, so I'll just show it to you.
This puppet escapes. Just. But the problem is that this burrow is not his.
Oh, fuck, his somewhere else.
And the gulls seem to know that.
So how do the seagulls know that the puffin's down the wrong burrow? They all know. The seagulls must be quite clever.
I think that's just so weird, and I don't think Sophie has a clue. I don't know what Sophie's thinking because Sophie's not really that mentally well, but I feel like that is definitely my higher self who's done that because this is the sort of thing that happens to me. I'm recording something and then something else in the background seems to be playing and I'm not aware of it, and then I watch back and think, oh, that's weird. It matches with something. I don't know, but that's happened a few times to me. But yeah, it's almost like this one, this puffin escapes. E.g., it almost no, it didn't die or anything. It wasn't close to dying. 25% body weight loss means that he had nothing, and it was nowhere near that low, so it was fine. But he escaped. He was fine. He wasn't. I think I remember seeing this Gogglebox episode. It's like the puffin's running away from a seagull, and he escapes. So he's free from the seagull, but he ends up going into the wrong hole. And it's just funny because this baby is now in a mental hospital. Oh, not a mental hospital. He's in a hospital, but I don't know. If the child stays with Sophie, I don't know what that they would do in other situations. On one hand, a mental hospital is probably the safest place, but on the other hand, the government can't keep affording placements in hospitals for mother and baby. There's technically my sister's, she's not having a massive breakdown or anything. Technically, how she is now is, I guess, how she is on and off in normal life. I just thought, I thought that when the baby was born, she would have a bit more of an attachment or a bit more of a connection, that she could sort of override the bipolar or mood swings that she has. And I saw signs that wasn't happening. Now, I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know if they're seeing the same thing. But yeah, it's strange how that's what that clip says in the background, and then it's like, oh, the seagulls know, and it's like, yeah, there's a team of people who are working on this case, and I think they probably know that the child's not safe with Sophie, or in the wrong borough. I'm pretty sure that they don't think that the report that they gave is just so ridiculous that I feel like they know they're plotting something, and they probably know that they probably know the child is safer if Sophie's not around. And so maybe the reason that that's actually much, rather than thinking that I'm a prostitute or thinking that I'm literally not capable, I think it does make sense that their plan, maybe they knew Sophie a lot better than I do. I mean, I do know her very well, but at the same time, I feel like I do understate a lot of, yeah. Well, I wanted the kid, and I wanted the kid to be, the kid should be with a mother, but if the mother just doesn't have that strong maternal instinct, which some mothers don't, it's not really safe for the child, especially if they're so young, especially if the crying is going to be very annoying. But yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what happens, and I don't know how long it will be and stuff. I think part of the biggest problem is how Sophie will cope. But yeah, I think the child would be much better in a home where he's going to be really cared for, rather than in a hospital where he's just going to have nurses sort of feed him. And I don't know what kind of job Sophie's doing. If you call her up and ask, how's it going? Are you feeding? And she's just going to be like, yeah, everything's fine. Because it kind of switches. Sometimes she seems really, really keen. I mean, I had a strong feeling that if she would come and stay with me, she would stay for a few days and then get bored and then walk away. I feel like sometimes if you say she can't do something, she wants to do it even more. And so if you say, hey, yeah, you can look after this child, and then give her the chance, and she'll be like, no, actually, I don't want to look after this child because she'll, I don't know, she loses interest in things. Like she doesn't like Birmingham because she thinks it's too boring. Whereas with me, there isn't that much to do in Birmingham, but there is. All I need is a house, TV, hot chocolate, and yeah, and I'm fine. So, but yeah, it's interesting because there must be so many. I'm wondering how many people are in this case where the parents are mentally ill, and you know, my sister's not as bad to think that oh gross, let's throw it in the bin. I don't think she's that stage, but there probably are some parents who are so mentally bipolar that when they go into their negative phase, they probably are capable of just throwing a baby in the bin and not caring. And I don't know how many people there are in the world that would do that. I'm hoping it's not many, but I think the reality is that it's it, there are some.